Welcome to Sunday morning service. I sure appreciate you folks being here with us today. And I'm going to start out with talking about the background here. We're in the main building of H.O.M.E Center instead of the chapel, which is where we normally do our recordings. And this backdrop here is the template, so to speak, of the chakra classes that I've taught in the past. I've taught it in September last year, and we've just left this up here since then because it's such a neat picture and neat image. So with that, I want to put in a little plug for a chakra class that I'm going to be teaching through Zoom. It'll be the same class that I've taught before. I think I've taught it about 9 or 10 times now, and it's really good. I've had quite a few people retake it because they enjoyed it so much and wanted to absorb the information more deeply. So it's going to be a weekly class for 9 weeks. It's going to start on September 14th. That's a Monday. So it'll be Monday evening at 7 o'clock. And if you want more information about it, you can send me an email. And the email is at the end of this video, homecenter2@comcast.net. And the price of it is $90. And it's for 9 weeks. It's $10 a week. But at the end of it, if you send me your address, your mailing address, I will send you the beads to put together a string of beads that is the chakras. And it's a lovely string of beads as a reminder of everything that you learned. So you can hang it in your house as a reminder on your rear view mirror, on your car, wherever. Anyway, it's a lot of fun to be able to put that together as a reminder of the class and a reminder of everything that you learned. So send me an email if you're interested, and I'll send you the link to the registration. I'm really, really looking forward to teaching it in this venue and being able to have more people included in the participation of it. So thank you for affording me that. All right. So to start out, we're going to have a prayer by Dick Walker, but before we get started with that, I have a joke I want to share. So this young boy learned there is a river in South America called the Amazon River, to which his response was, "So there's an Amazon River now? What's next? Lake Facebook? Mount PayPal?" How did Amazon manage to name a whole river in South America after them? Did they pay the government and all the countries that it flows through for the naming rights? What was the river's name before Amazon bought the rights to name the river? And how long will it be before there are other natural features named after world-class companies like Microsoft Plains, or the Reddit Sea, or Instagram Peak? Where will it end? I love that. You know, the world always starts with us. There's no world before ourselves, especially in a young person's mind. All right, with that, we're going to open up with a prayer.
Thank you, Reverend Madge. You make it a little difficult to follow that, but I'll jump in anyway. Good morning, everyone. From the H.O.M.E Center ministerial team, our Minister of Prayer, Reverend H.O.M.E Peinkofer, has our opening prayer this morning. Heavenly Father, thank you for your guidance this wonderful day. On this beautiful morning, we thank you for the life you have breathed into us and for the essence of your peace and love surrounding us. Let us acknowledge the beauty of this day as we give thanks to the friends and family sharing this morning in person and in spirit here in the H.O.M.E Center. Your love is in and around us all. We thank Reverend Madge for the wisdom and the thoughts she will share with us this morning. And God, surround Reverend Joe in your healing energies that his body will recover the youth and vitality he remembers. With our eyes closed now to sense this quiet and beautiful moment in peace, may God bless us all in love and light. So be it, amen. And now I'll turn it over to Reverend Madge.
Thank you so much, Dick. To give you a little note about what's going on with Joe. He just had an outpatient surgery on Thursday, and he's doing well. He's doing quite well. What he had done is he has a pacemaker battery here, but it's not for cardiac. It's for deep brain stimulators that help him control his Parkinson's symptoms. So about every 4 or 5 years, this battery has to be replaced because it starts running low. The Energizer Bunny starts running out of juice. So he had to have it replaced, and he's doing very well. We're real proud of him and the progress he's making. All right. Start out with another saying. This was sent to me this morning, actually, by Kathy DeMeyer, a friend of mine. And she sends me some of these little nuggets that are just very valuable. This one is, do not let the world make you hard. Do not let pain make you hate. Do not let the bitterness make you sad. Take pride in the fact that even though the rest of the world may disagree, you still believe it to be a beautiful place. So those are definitely words to live by. So thank you, Kathy, for sharing that with me. So I want to talk today about the flow of the river of life. I don't know if you're having this experience like I am, but there are things right now that are just a lot harder. It just seems like everything is a little harder than it used to be. Now we must wear a mask, which makes breathing harder. I don't know about you, but I can't tell you the number of times I have things in both hands and I can't breathe very well, and I'm juggling all my stuff to try to hook my finger underneath my mask to pull it out so that I can catch my breath. Oh, so that's harder. Shopping is harder. I don't know how many times I've had to go back to my car for my mask. Forgot my mask. So I go back and I get it. Then I'm in the store and I'm shopping, and the aisles are marked a particular up and down way in which you were supposed to go up one way and down another, especially in the really big stores. I'm always going the wrong way. It's so frustrating. I don't even know it until somebody gives me the stink eye. And then it's like, what? And then I realize, oh gosh, going the wrong way. It doesn't matter because I pass them just as closely as if I was going the other way when they stop to look at something. So, but that's the way it is. Just a little bit harder in that regard. You have to bag your own groceries if you bring your own bags now because they're not allowed to touch it. So that's even harder. I like to watch the register, make sure that the prices are coming through right. I can't do that when I'm busy bagging my own groceries or helping my mother manage her card, and it's just exhausting to do all of that. So I've given up on bringing my own bags into the store, and I just ask Mother Earth for forgiveness because I've gone back to plastic bags. And it's kind of interesting because I fought myself so hard to remember to bring my bags in. Remember to bring your bags. And now it's like, yeah, I give up. So that's even harder, but I just ask for forgiveness from our dear Mother Earth. Just getting in and out of the stores is harder. There's only one way in and one way out, even though there might be double doors in these big stores. And of course, the one thing I want is at the other corner of the door that I had to come in. So that takes longer and it's harder. It's like, oh my gosh, when will this get easy again? But what I did realize the other day is that I'm actually grieving, and I didn't recognize it for a while. I'm grieving the loss of my spiritual community in physical form. I know we always have them. I know there's no time and space. But nonetheless, I miss the sound I love. I miss the enthusiasm of seeing each other, of being excited. I miss smelling somebody bringing something fresh baked in to the room so that we can share it afterwards. So I just miss everybody so much. So I miss each and every one of you. So just know that I'm really, really looking forward to the time that we can come back together again. I'm wondering what our community is going to look like when this ends and we're able to come back together in physical form. You know, some people, we've had someone pass, we've got people moving. We have other people that I know are arriving into this community. They're looking for their spiritual community, but they haven't been able to find us yet. So it's, even though I know that this is supposed to be a temporary pause, it seems like it's kind of growing into a way of life, and it makes me grieve. But I have to, in that light, I also have to keep my faith in God. and that to know that God will find a way to make this the best that it can be, the best in us too that it can be. As my family saying goes, nothing is wasted in the economy of God. And what does that mean? To me, it means that no matter what the situation is, God will never waste the opportunity to teach us and to use that situation to help us grow and to help us be the best person that we can be and to heal. So the list goes on and on of the ways in which God will use even this situation to make the best of us through it. So God is always positively efficient when it comes to creation, and we are part of that creation. So I have absolute faith that everything is going to not be the way it was, but that everything is being used to the best advantage of humanity and for the best growth within each and every one of us. So I have to keep my sights on that belief because it is a strong belief within me, and I know that it's true. I have to look beyond my own heartache, and I have to do my best to see God, even in the limited human awareness, which is my limited human awareness. So one of the things that I see in the world that is changing is the flow of the river of life. You know, how we flowed is changing. How we used to do things is changing. So the river has a certain flow. If we use the river as an analogy, as a metaphor, it has a certain flow. And if you get in that current, then you can go with the flow, and it's easy. It takes you down the river, and you can just float along and enjoy life, enjoy the scenery. If you fight the flow, it's really hard work, and you get exhausted very quickly. And when you work hard, you don't go very far. When you go against the flow, you just don't go very far. And as I was putting this topic together, as I was writing that very thing, I just laughed to myself because I remembered a situation that was exactly like this. And this really happened. So many years ago, when I lived with my significant other, he liked to go fishing. And he decided that he wanted a small boat because he just liked to do a little fishing. He wasn't a serious fisher. He was just a casual fisherman. So he just wanted a little boat to go fishing with. So we got one, and we finally had an occasion to take it out into the river and had a little outboard motor. And we made this an afternoon. We were going to make it an afternoon. So I packed my lunch or our lunch, we got blankets to make us comfortable. I took things to do because my version of fishing is with a camera or a magazine or a good book. And then he brought all of his fishing gear, got it all loaded up, and we decided to go to Independence to the Willamette River because that's the closest river that was to us. It's a nice big river and pretty quick flow about it. So we got in the boat, got everything packed in, we pushed off the dock, and we motored out into the current and decided to go upstream so that we could drift back. Made good sense, and it was a darn good thing we did because as we were facing up the river and the motor's going really full throttle against the current, and I settle into the bow and I'm looking around at the trees and looking at this tree, and still looking at that tree, and I think, wait. And I decided to look over the edge to see how deep it was, and there was very clear water. It was lovely. I could see the rocks down there. And as I stared at the rocks, I thought, wait a minute, those rocks aren't moving. And I looked up at the trees again, the trees weren't moving. And I thought, wait a minute. And I looked at the shoreline, and the shoreline was staying exactly where it was, and yet the motor was going full throttle. And I thought, oh my gosh, we are going nowhere. We're going absolutely nowhere. Upstream, full bore. As hard as that little motor could push, it was only pushing hard enough to keep us in the standstill position. And I just started to laugh, and I said, oh my gosh, you've got to be kidding me. And at first my significant other argued with me because he's at the motor and he could hear it going. He thought for sure it was just going gangbusters. And I said, no, look, the dock is right there. We just pushed off from it. We're going nowhere. So we managed to get ourselves over to the side, did a little fishing going nowhere fast, and called it a day. But I thought, oh my gosh, what a great metaphor for life. We can be going along full throttle against the current, and you go nowhere fast, and you're exhausted. So, anyway, with that having been said, so we've been saying for a long time now that the world cannot continue as it is. This was pre-COVID. We've been saying it for a long time because the world just seemed to be going crazier and crazier, but now it's actually more crazy. But humanity is awakening, and we're awakening to our highest potential. And that which is not compatible to that highest potential is coming to light. It's rising up to be seen so that it can be healed. And granted, a lot of these situations are not pretty. They're not what we want to see in the world, which is why they need to come up. So, and many of them are very sad to see being acted out. But again, in the faith that God always uses every opportunity to lovingly teach us, we must see that God is with each and every one of those people. He is in each and every one of those situations and doing what God does best, and that's teach the soul. And so we have to trust that that destiny is happening for whatever reason that God sees best. Doesn't mean we have to like it, doesn't mean we have to condone it, doesn't mean we have to repeat it, but we do have to trust. We don't get to know the personal relationship of those individuals with their divinity, or what their agreements are, or what their soul's purpose is, or what it is that's happening. That part isn't our business, but to bless and send light and love and energy is what we can do, and to do everything we can to not have those situations repeated. So we are changing the river, we are changing the flow of the river of life from what it was to what it's going to become. And it's hard, and it's exhausting, and it is confusing too. The turbulent waters is full of swirls, instant changes, and flowing waters that go in all directions at the same time. And I don't know about you, but for the most of the time, I feel that part of the flow of the river right now is where all directions are happening at once. The flow is going everywhere. No matter where I turn, it seems like there's an element of difficulty to it. And I have no idea what the answer is either. There's no answer, no easy answer in the turbulent waters. There are solid arguments for whatever data for whatever arguments you want to take, where whatever side you want to take, there's solid evidence for this, that, or the other. So it even makes it more confusing, because there are no absolute rights and there are no absolute wrongs in these experiences that we're having in our world today. The only thing that is making sense to me is that it's asking us to take away all judgment. The judgment for what it is, and the judgment for what we think is happening. Because we have to find our own balance. We have to go within each and every one of us to find our own balance, to find our own true north. We're not going to find it out here in the world. We're going to find it within us in our relationship with our divinity. So these are the moments that I look for, and there are moments when I do feel like I step into the flow of ease and grace, and I step into this new flow of what's becoming. And in that flow, there is peace, and there are answers, and there is contentment, and there is connection. And when I do find that flow, our job is to stay in that flow for as long as we can, to elongate our experience of that energy, to make that what we experience, to make that our new reality for as long as we can hold it. And we might not be able to hold it but for a few moments, but that's okay. Those few moments will grow into more moments. And those more moments will grow into a time. And then somewhere along the line, that will become our new normal. That will become our new reality. And solidifying it a little more each time is what our job is. When we can find it, hold it for as long as we can. So over time, our goal is to live and love from that place of peace and ease and grace, and keep spreading it with all the people that we come across. By holding that energy, we create a resonant field that will beautify everything, that will bring beauty to others. It will affect others with that energy, and they'll pick up on it. It will feel good. I'm even noticing that now when I'm out in public. There's certain people that I come across that I enjoy crossing their path because they have a certain energy frequency about them that is loving and peaceful. And I unconsciously, well, I shouldn't say unconsciously, but I, within myself, acknowledge that feeling as I walk by them and say, thank you for holding that space. Because energetically, they'll feel my gratitude for that also. So our job is to continue to work on those relationships, continuing to build our resonant field of love, and to build on our faith with divinity that God is in each and every one of us and within each and every one of the others and in those situations. So keep spreading the love, my friends, and it will change the world. So in closing, I want to read a prayer out of the Marianne Williamson book, and it's called A New Day. Dear God, thank you for this new day, its beauty and its light. Thank you for my chance to begin again. Free me from the limitations of yesterday. Today I may be reborn. May I become more fully a reflection of your radiance. Give me strength and compassion and courage and wisdom. Show me the light in myself and others. May I recognize the good that is available everywhere. May I be this day an instrument of love and healing. Lead me into gentle pastures. Give me deep peace that I might serve you most deeply. Amen. Thank you for being with us today.
Arms around the world, around each other. Arms around the world, sisters and brothers. Arms around the world and we discover. Arms around the world, there is no other. So let us join in love and peace. A world as it was meant to be. And we will